InfoGlide Software's mission is to build and market products for companies in need of innovative technology that transforms expanding amounts of data into the knowledge that drives their business success. How is your technology fulfilling that mission, and what does your company do to fulfill that mission?
Well, thank you for asking that. InfoGlide's technology is based on our patented similarity search engine. The purpose of the similarity search engine is to extract stored data irrespective of where it's stored and how it's stored, and particularly in relationship to exact match. An example might be that a database running in an Oracle environment could have name and address fields that are first name, middle initial, last name, and a database running in a DB2 environment might have, as an example, last name first, comma, first name. Our software recognizes that all of those are names, puts the right part of the name in the right place, and then compares them to each other to seek similarities between those targets and other information that you're trying to search. The value there, the value there is that you don't have to understand exactly what it is you're looking for in order to find the result that you're looking for. So we provide the ability to do similarity search across multiple disparate databases and to do it in a real-time environment, transactional environment.
You've recently made a significant shift in the company's direction over the last year, moving from a single product desktop point solution to an enterprise solution. What are the key factors contributing to this change, and how is this impacting the marketplace?
The issue relative to desktop versus enterprise is significant. In the environment that we all live in today, software, and frankly anything, is purchased based on the value provided. InfoGlide's product historically provided significant value to a single investigator or a single reviewer, perhaps two or three, in a simple desktop environment. What we've done is transition the software to an enterprise platform in an enterprise environment where it operates on large databases in a transactional environment and therefore increases the value contribution to the potential purchaser. An example is that a major insurance company, a matter of fact one of the 20 largest insurance companies in the world, purchased our Fraud Investigator enterprise software to seek fraud in the claims process. Historically, that solution would have been handled by an investigator, a single investigator, in a single-threaded environment, would have taken lots of time, probably would have occurred after a claim was made and a payment was made. And the net result is that it would be interesting, but the value proposition would be very difficult to put forth. In an enterprise environment, we operate on claims in a transactional basis, so that as the claim appears to the insurance company, we operate on that seeking fraud, seeking activities or actions or people that might be fraudulent, and stop the claims process before the check is paid. The result of that is that we're able to sell our enterprise software based on its value contribution, the money saved, rather than on buy my software, it'll make your site look better, or our color of blue is bluer. The net is that we're able to raise the selling price of our software substantially, and it increases the value of the company. Clearly, the customer wins because they pay based on value.
How will these new solutions allow InfoGlide software to reach into other customers and markets, and where are your next strong expansion markets?
The historical business model for the company has been in the cops and robbers business, if I might say it that way, determining fraudulent activity within insurance claims as an example, particularly in property and casualty. But as you expand beyond those, clearly the adjacent insurance marketplaces of health insurance, as an example, consumes 14%. Health costs consume 14% of the gross domestic product. It's full of fraud, and so it's natural that we'd move into health insurance fraud. It's also natural that we'd move into workers' compensation fraud and areas that are associated with that. But probably more significant is the ability to take the software now that it is an enterprise class solution and transcend that insurance marketplace and move into commercial marketplaces like eBay as an example, a consumer company that has a critical need to understand the identity of the people that are using their products. So in the commercial environment, in the commerce environment, we think we'll expand fairly dramatically. And as a result of the tragic events of September 11th, we have found a tremendous amount of demand within the government sector, both in intelligence and in understanding who people are. And obviously, most of the things that we do are classified, but you could imagine what they are. And understanding who people are they really who they say they are? Do they relate to some event or some action or some other person that might suggest that they should be looked at carefully?
Your company recently announced an agreement with Language Analysis Systems, a recognized leader in software for advanced name matching and cultural attributes. In what way will LAS interface with Infoglide Software's similarity search technology, and what are the benefits to your customers?
LAS is the premier name matching and name clarification software tool in the industry. They have analyzed 750 million names that they describe as non-U.S. or foreign names, remembering that probably all American names were foreign at one point in time. But they have specific expertise in Arab, French, German, Spanish, Korean, Chinese, Vietnamese, and Japanese. And when you look at the populations of the world and you look at the potential for misbehavior relative to identity and tracking identities, clearly understanding those names, those names that we might consider foreign names, and the cultural aspects of those names, the masculine and the feminine forms, and even the nicknames associated with those names, is critical in order to project Infoglide Software's solution in a global environment and to deal with all of those activities in the domestic U.S. marketplace as well.
You were recently invited to the Stanford University's Hoover Institution National Security Forum with the nation's top advisors. The conference was on technology for preventing terrorism, seeking to develop policy proposals and initiatives for government and private sector. How is Infoglide Software making an impact in the government sector with its enterprise solution today?
The conference at the Hoover Institution at Stanford University was focused on the application of technology to combat terrorism and then some of the side effects that are associated with that, like privacy issues as an example. So not only were there major policy advisors and also technologists from the National Security Administration, both of the national laboratories, but also representatives from the ACLU to discuss issues of constitutional law. And it was clear in participating in that conference that the threat that we face as a country is really more substantial than we want to let ourselves believe. The fabric of our country and the way we believe from a privacy standpoint makes us vulnerable on a consistent basis to threats from all sorts of directions. And what we've been able to do at Infoglide Software is understand and provide tools that help organizations understand the who, that is to say, who are you really, what is your alias, who are you associated with, how are you linked with other people that may or may not be bad, the how, which is the pattern of what you're doing, the processes that you're going through, and then the what, and that's the specific act that's occurring. And so if you think about people who present themselves at our borders who might want to come into this country, you certainly want to understand who they are. You also want to understand all of the identification sets that are associated with them. Well, Infoglide Software's technologies provide real value there. If someone presents themselves for access to transportation, clearly that's an issue as well, and there ought to be a very clear understanding of who they are, what they're doing, what their behavior looks like, and what potential threats might be associated with that. But even as significant as the number of packages that are shipped on airplanes every day in this country is a very, very significant issue. It turns out that the American air traffic system delivers hundreds of millions of packages every month. And we don't know what's in those packages. We don't know who shipped them. We don't know where they're going to, and we don't know what that means to the threat profile. Infoglide Software's tools help to understand the who and the what and the how in all of those by delivering information from multiple disparate databases, scored for similarity and linked to other activities. So you can understand those very, very quickly. Now, the flip side of that pancake is that technology isn't good enough if technology doesn't satisfy all of the needs. And I was mindful of a member at the Hoover Institution that said they were perfectly willing to embed an integrated circuit chip under their skin so that their identity could be checked everywhere they went, including the grocery store and the Stanford University football games and airplanes or anywhere else. And it reminded me of the saying that those who would trade liberty for security soon will have neither. Clearly, if we apply technology and don't expect technology to provide a complete solution, we're going to all be very dissatisfied. A cure for cancer is no good if it forces your right leg to fall off, and none of us would think that's a good thing. A technology solution that helps us to understand threats and manage threats inside our environment isn't good enough if it in fact takes away the privacy that all of us as citizens cling to as one of the basic tenets of our Constitution. InfoGlide Software's technology doesn't have to deal with collecting data, building data warehouses, putting all of that in one place and understanding all of that information about all of those people. What it's about is providing scores for similarity between records, not the records themselves. So we don't have to bring up all of the information about you. We only need to look at the information, that record, if you will, score it, and then deliver the similarity score or the percentage that it is like what we think it is. That way, the protection of the privacy is still there while we understand the potential threat if it exists there.
Homeland Security, as we all know, is a very big issue today. What is the right forum and who are the right representatives that should define, develop, implement, and refine recommendations on Homeland Security?
Well, the easy answer is to say the government, and that's the wrong answer. This is a very complex process and a very complex problem, and as a result, it's going to have a very complex solution. But I believe that we should look to, and I think the government is today, I believe we should look to technology companies to provide technology that satisfies the understanding and the management of the specific threat at the same time that it protects our precious liberties. And there's no reason why we can't demand that from technology, and there's no reason that citizens can't demand that from their government. We're all working toward that. I think technology is the answer. I believe technology companies like ours are going to provide that answer, and what we've seen from the federal government so far would indicate that that's the way that they're going to operate as well.
What is your vision for the future for your company, and where do you see InfoGlide Software's technology going in the next 1 to 3 years, if you can tell us?
Well, we've gone from yesterday a desktop point solution that had a relative selling price in the range of $50,000 or $100,000 to the point now where our applications, our specific applications like Fraud Investigator Enterprise, are sold in the range of $1 million per instance. As we begin to apply similarity search technology across all of our workflow platforms, the relative value that we create for our customers will be substantially more than that. So clearly we believe that just through the growth of our value contribution, and then therefore the price that we are justly paid for that, will cause our company to grow pretty dramatically. But more importantly, perhaps, the company is focused on developing technologies that will allow us to give tools to companies, organizations, the government, to unlock that critical information that already exists in the databases that they've been building for a long, long time. And as we begin to do that, our value proposition will continue to grow, and the company will continue to grow. We're having an exciting time. We've filed in the last 8 months more than 20 patent disclosures, and I think we'll have more than that as we continue to go forward. This is a fascinating area of technology, and InfoGlide Software is at the absolute forefront of it.